Well. The game that we were all waiting for ever since Nico Harrison pulled the trigger on trading Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. I didn't know what he was thinking then. I don't think we still know what he was thinking now. An absolute horrific trade, and I'm sure Nico Harrison got to enjoy this experience tonight. He kind of hid in the tunnel behind security, but he was still there. He got to hear the crowd, and just as an NBA fan, this was a spectacular game to watch from start to finish. Luka put on a show, scoring 45 points. His elite passing ability and high IQ was on display. He made some ridiculous Luka magic shots, and the Lakers clinched a top 6 seed with this win. A very fitting end to the post-Luka Doncic era in Dallas, all thanks to Nico Harrison. And I'm not a Dallas fan myself, but I'm pretty sure that Dallas fans got exactly what they wanted in this game. They got to see Luka again. They got to see him drop 45 on their heads right in front of Nico Harrison and Mark Cuban. Even though I know Cuban wasn't the one who made the trade, he still is a minority owner, and he has kind of backed Nico Harrison. He didn't say he agreed with the trade, but he definitely has not turned on him. I was kind of hoping that we'd see a little more out of AD in this game, just to create a little bit more of a storyline, but AD really was just non-existent. And I love AD, I think he's a great player, but this is why the Luka trade made no sense, because AD is not even near the same level of a player as Luka. Luka's a top 5 to top 3 player in the league. Sometimes when he gets hot, he can be the best player in the NBA, and AD is just a quality guy that brings elite defense to your team, but really the knack on him his entire career is that he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. He hasn't been able to stay on the court. But yeah, everything came full circle tonight, because when Nico Harrison made the Luka trade, he said defense wins championships. And the Lakers played great defense today, holding the Mavericks to under 100 points. Now, one thing I will say is that the Mavericks season has just been derailed by injuries. Kyrie went down, and he was basically their entire plan post Luka Doncic, and after he went down, the Mavericks really had nowhere to go to get their offense. But hey, they could have had a guy that drops 50 points once a week, but I guess Nico didn't want that. In this video, I want to recap all that just went down. I want to talk about how the Lakers were able to get the job done and officially clinch a top 6 seed for the playoffs. I want to talk about the playoffs and the different matchups the Lakers could have. And I, of course, want to break down Luka's 45-point performance. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so the Lakers of course won this game 112 to 97, and let's just start breaking down some plays. So right here, Luka starts with the ball up top, he drives right, gets his way over Derek Lively, he doesn't really push off, this is just what he does. He's so good at creating separation, and he drills the floater, scoring his first 2 points of the game, and the crowd was absolutely electrified. Next here, let's take a look at Luka's unreal passing ability and elite IQ, because he drives in left, Lively cuts him off, he's running out of space, and he just whips the ball around to Rui Hachimura. No idea how he made this pass, but he wasn't done there, because then he went back to the corner. Rui was ready to make the extra pass, and he knocked down the 3, and I think Mavericks fans were experiencing nightmares and PTSD watching that. Not in a bad way though, because they wanted him to perform. They wanted to show Nico how bad he messed up. Once again, Luka is just so good at driving in, drawing the attention of the defense, and then finding the open man. Ever since the Lakers traded for Luka, all of a sudden their 3-point percentages went way up from the role players, and it makes sense because when Luka's doing things like this, it is just a totally different world. I know LeBron is that type of player, he does that, but when you add him to the mix, holy cow, it just gets unstoppable. Now here, this is just vintage Luka, and this is a fun little matchup. The two guys that were the key centerpiece of the big trade. Luka steps back, drills the 3 over one of the greatest defenders in the game. This is when you knew Luka was going to have a big night, because sometimes he's not necessarily the best 3-point shooter. He certainly can be, but that's not what his game is built around. But when he is hitting from 3 and everything's clicking, man, he can be one of the best players anyone has ever seen. And I apologize if this isn't like my best breakdown ever. I'm not using any notes. I'm just reacting to what I saw fresh off of watching the game. Here once again, Luka has the ball on the wing, he's surveying the floor, he realizes nobody's really open, so he just lets it fly, drills another 3. This is when you officially knew he was going to go for at least 40. It was just one of those nights, because whenever a player has an emotional game like this, they're either going to be really good or really bad. I still remember LeBron's return home to Cleveland when he went to Miami. That was insane, but he just dominated from the start, and you knew he was going to have a big game. And now for the play of the game that everyone is talking about. Luka drives in on Christie, he runs out of space, he gets cut off by the center, and somehow he gets this up and under to go, puts the right amount of English on it. There is only a few players in the world that can make shots like this. That's like a Harlem Globetrotters type of shot. Ridiculous stuff. And pretty much after that shot, there was Fire Nico chants going around the stadium for the rest of the game. That was very entertaining to watch. Looking at some of the numbers from this game, Luka played 38 minutes. JJ Redick is definitely upping the intensity. He's ramping things up for the playoffs. Luka had 45 points with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and he had 4 steals. And that is a big thing that I think got overlooked in this performance. He showed up defensively, which is just hilarious because we all know, like I've already mentioned, that Nico said defense wins championships. I think 4 steals is definitely playing defense. And he was efficient too. It wasn't like he was just shot chucking. He was 7 of 10 from behind the arc and 16 of 28 from the field, and he was plus 26, leading the starting lineup in plus minus. Jackson Hayes played 13 minutes. He had 3 points with 5 rebounds. Didn't do too much. Austin Reeves played 38 minutes. He had 11, 4 and 4. Rui Hachimura knocked down some big shots. He had 15 with 2 rebounds and 2 assists. And then LeBron, at age 40, continues to be the GOAT. He had 27 points with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. He just continues to defeat Father Time somehow. It is just ridiculous. And all his hard work and preparation in the film room and just taking care of his body, it is all continuing to pay off. And then in terms of the bench, there's really not much to write home about. Dorian Finney-Smith had 5 points, but besides that, there was just nothing. It was all the starting lineup and it was all Luka, and this overall was just a low scoring game. And defensively, I thought the Lakers were swarming. Anthony Davis only had 13 points. He did have 11 rebounds and 6 assists, but still, when you hold an opponent's best player to only 13 points, you're probably going to win most of the time. So yeah, that was just a crazy game to experience. Just as an NBA fan, I can't imagine what it would have been like as either a Lakers or a Mavs fan. And for the Lakers, it's looking like they are going to end the season as the 3 seed, and that could set up a matchup against either Golden State or Memphis or even Denver if they slide. Either one of those is going to be a super entertaining series and one that I think the Lakers should win. That's really all I have to say though. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comments below. Again, I apologize if I was all over the place. I am just so pumped up from what I just watched. Here's what some of the players had to say in their post-game interviews.
I don't know, honestly. Everybody saw me the way I reacted to the video. You know, all these fans, I really appreciate it, man. All the teammates I had, you know, everybody had my back, I mean, I'm just happy, you know, this guy, I love these fans, I love this city, but it's time to move on.
Luka, but how impressed were you with how he played throughout the night and kind of what he was able to accomplish?
Let me start by saying him sitting by himself and getting to actually live that and live in the moment, and allowing himself to be vulnerable and his teammates supporting. Some of his teammates got emotional. Some of the coaches got emotional. It was a beautiful moment.
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And until next time, I will see you all later.